Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome an accomplished entrepreneur with a mission to create global brands from Hyderabad, India, Mr. Arun Kumar Natha. Arun, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ashutosh. Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. Arun is the founder and pacemaker of inPace Solutions. And the services that he offers in inPace are to partner in creating at least 11 global brands by 2043, empowering professionals to embrace financial abundance with confidence, empowering students to be financially strong in fundamentals and start early in playing with money, and finally, empowering homemakers to embrace financial abundance by learning and wealth creation. So, Arun, tell me a little bit about your journey and what was the inspiration to start inPace?
Thank you, Ashutosh. It's a pleasure to be on this platform and interacting with you. It's quite inspiring to be with you. Yes, so my journey as such, I've started with a very humble background. I born and brought up in Chennai, and education was the only means in which I found way to grow up in my life. I've been born to parents who were 10th grade, my mom and dad. So education was the main one I started. So I did my CA, ICAA, and MBA later on. So I've been on the career path as an employee. Worked in several multinational companies across the globe. Primarily, I've been operating from India, but I worked in abroad as well a few years. So, having worked for about 25 years in the corporate world, I was in mid 40s. A question came, and a prodding question came. It was prodded by my spiritual guru Mahatriya that I follow. A question came in terms of what is that I'm going to do for the rest of my life, which I felt I have pretty 25, 30 years of my life is available for me. And this question came to me when I was in mid 40. At that time, I was working in Amazon as the director for finance operations, worldwide operations based out of Hyderabad. So when this question occurred in my head, I couldn't see myself in the corporate world because typically you tend to work till 58 or 60 and retire and so on. So I said, no, that's not the way I want to kind of end my career. I want to begin my career. So the question was, what am I going to do for next 25 years when I was in my 25 years of career? And it clearly came out that I have to start something that will be the beginning of next 25. So that's how the vision of, inPace Solutions, that's the name of the organization I had set up. And that's how the whole thing started.
Amazing. Thank you. So, you've got 4 clear pillars of inPace. And let me ask you a question on the first one, which is you say that you want to create 11 global brands from India by 2043. Tell me a little bit more about this vision and what are there any specific industries or businesses that you think you want to focus on?
I'll give a little context to why this global brands itself in the first place. So having worked in multinational companies, global companies, this trigger of 25 years came in my head, and then I started thinking of how I can add value in which space. So that's where this long story short, somewhere I got the trigger saying that I need to work with Indian entrepreneurs. Okay, and the reason being, India has the heritage of so many things, wonderful things happen, but very few brands, global brands, are built from India. Okay, very few relative to the Western world. So that's the starting point where can I do something? Having worked with the global brands, can I do something with Indian entrepreneurs to build global brands? Through Indian entrepreneurs. I have no idea of Indian entrepreneurs at all. I never worked with them, hardly interacted because I was very busy in my career, hierarchy and clients and, leading large team, blah, blah, blah. But now got a chance to work with Indian entrepreneurs. I thought, let me take the plunge. So when I started talking, I left Amazon. I took about 9 months of sabbatical to really deepen my thought process. Build some foundation of what do I do? 'Cause being a chartered accountant, easier career options have been, start my practice as a chartered accountant, do audits, tax audit, advisory, consulting. Several options were
Yeah.
in front.
Yeah.
But this came as a trigger where let me do something for Indian entrepreneurs. So that's how the first pillar of building global brands from India came. Again, thanks to Mahathir, who kind of pushes us to think big and do something for the country. So in this journey, there are many things are happening. Probably I'll talk about it as we go along, but that's how I'm working with founders at this point of time. Okay, I've handpicked a few. As of now, I'm working with 9 different brands, and across industries. I'm working with manufacturing company, working with retail. I'm working with healthcare, education. Professionals, individual professionals. I'm working with them. So across sectors, I'm working on. Thanks to all the experience I've gained in my career, where I work with pretty much an industry that you can think of.
Right.
I have an idea of how it works. I'm not an expert in any one industry, being a finance professional by core, but I've got a sense of being that uh, uh, you know ability to absorb the business nuances and things like that. So that's how I'm working with
Amazing.
these founders.
That's fantastic. But then tell me, Arun, how do you define a global brand and what goes into building a global brand?
Absolutely, that's a very good question. In fact, yeah, many a times we have the perception that global brand means we have to be all over the world. That's not the only definition I have. Global brand means in that field, that globally that should be the brand to be the top of mind recall. Okay, it can also mean that the world will come to this India for that particular field. For example, yoga. Yoga is so-called originated from India and so on. We don't have many brands which can be resonating, saying that this is the place to go. I mean, I'm sure there are lots. I mean, a number of people are working on. So my vision is to work with one such field where the world will come to India. So likewise, I picked these brands who are potential of becoming global brand. Either they go all over the world or the world will come.
Okay, wonderful.
That's how the
And what, in your view, are some of the challenges you could probably foresee to achieve your vision of building these brands by 2043?
Yeah, the timeline is basically the 25 years I took.
I'm one with you.
The time I started, that's
Absolutely.
how it is.
Yeah, I realize that.
As I started, it's going to be 7th year. I feel that it can be achieved sooner than 25 years. So in fact, I kind of started processing myself. It need not wait that long. It will happen much sooner than 2043. The challenges are, starting with the founders itself. Okay, the Indian entrepreneurs, have certain attributes or certain ways in which they work. Okay, many a times they are first-time entrepreneurs or second-generation entrepreneurs and so on. They come from business background. They know how to convert an idea to a business. But when it comes to converting a business to a business model, okay, there are big challenges for them. Many a times, typically the Indian entrepreneurs have been control freak. They want to manage everything by themselves. Delegating is not that easy. Even if they delegate, there is still apprehension of will it work. So some of these impediments have been there, which I believe have been a blocker for they becoming a global brand or going even expanding beyond the geography of one particular state or a city and so on. So the challenge for me is the significant challenge for me is the change management. How do I work with them in terms of building that mindset? Okay, there are 3 things came up when it comes to what it takes for anyone to become a global brand. Number 1 is systems and processes. There has to be strong systems and processes for an organization to run it, for them to build the scale. 2 is leverage technology.
Yeah.
Okay, technology is going to be a huge accelerator. The sooner we embrace, the better it's going to be on any, not necessarily on the product or service. It can be the way you run your operations and so on. The third one is financial prudence. This is another important one which will help to accelerate the growth of an organization. While these three are intuitively simple and appearing commonsensical, but when I'm working with the founders here, these three dimensions are not easy to embrace. For example, systems and processes, we believe, but then when it comes to really, it's a rudimentary thing, systems and processes. You may not be able to connect to the results instantly. For example, you create a process, simple as HR policies. When you're running a company, you connect with heart of the people actually.
Right.
You don't need processes or policies, but you need policies so that all of us are aligned and there is harmony in the way we are thinking.
Yeah.
That's a significant shift in the mindset. So change management, I would say, is a huge one for me.
Very well said.
Methodologies, techniques. In fact, Indian entrepreneurs, I found them very open for ideas. As long as I'm able to put my skin in the game, as long as I'm willing to walk the path with them, as long as I'm able to demonstrate results, they are very, very, very cooperative to work. It's not like when I was taking this initiative, a lot of people said that, oh, working with Indian entrepreneurs is not easy. They won't pay you. They want all the things at the cheapest price and so on, which is not true. I found them all not true, because as long as these are done, they value what you bring to the table.
Wonderful, wonderful. So Arun, now let's talk about another leg of inPace, which is to empower professionals to embrace financial abundance. Help me understand, how can you embrace a professional to, how can you empower a professional to embrace financial abundance?
Yeah, I'll give a little bit context also.
Yeah.
So the global brands is a very, very sharp focused, handful where I'm personally involved. So I've not created a team for myself. So by design, I'm a one-person company. Probably at a later stage, maybe someone will join me, but I'm not building a team to deliver services. So that's not the format I've taken. So it's myself, I'm involved with this, brands that I'm working with. So while I'm on, hyper focused on a few handful of organizations, I also want to work with, professionals, homemakers and students, even entrepreneurs. All the four segments on financial empowerment put together. Okay. What do I mean by financial empowerment is, as individuals, I'll give a little bit of, there are three phases, I believe. The first phase is, as we are born, as we start living, growing up, we work in we live in a kind of a supported environment where things are taken care, food and shelter and education and things like that. Then the second phase is where I start demonstrating my skills, start working, I start doing things. Okay, so that's the second phase, wherein in both of the phases, money is involved. Suppose I have to be taken care of, food, shelter, and education. There is money required, and my parents are being taken care. When I start working, I will earn to build and maintain my lifestyle. I believe there is a third phase where I don't need to work for money. Money should work for me.
Right.
So that I can continue to work on what I want to do while my lifestyle and everything is taken care. Which is a missing link, including myself. Till about 15 years ago, I did not realize. Being a chartered accountant, I never looked at my financial position at all. I was focusing on salary check and ensuring that enough payments are done, EMIs are scheduled, and that's it. I never looked at holistically. I never looked at diversifying my assets portfolio into different segments. I never looked at passive income as a source of income at all. I thought I have to work. If I have to earn means I have to keep working, which is true for food, shelter, and basic needs. But beyond that, no, I don't need. I don't need money for beyond that. Because I think as we grow, I think we mature in this dimension of I can have one car, I can have three cars. Maybe I can upgrade to a much bigger car, much expensive car. But that's it. It's not more than that. Whereas my dreams and aspirations are much bigger actually. So I can do all that only if I allow my money to work for me rather than me keep working for money.
Very
so
interesting.
this transformation happened to me about 15 years ago.
Hmm.
So it's reached a point where before even I took the decision to leave my corporate job, I created enough financial freedom for myself where I don't have to work for a day.
Hmm.
Okay, so my money works for me, and I work for my own satisfaction and
Yep.
add value to it. So this I want to take it to a lot more people. So I want to touch millions of lives through this initiative. I call it as Easy Learning Initiative. Okay. And this is specifically focused for entrepreneurs, professionals, students, and homemakers. And I've come up with a simple template which can be used by anyone. No accounting jargons, no financial jargons. A basic things for someone to look at their financial position and then make some changes in the way they are organizing their finances so that in some point of time, they will be financially empowered, wherein money starts working for them.
Hmm.
So that there is freedom. When money works for you,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure. So
Very
I
good.
want millions of people to experience it.
Hmm.
So I run some programs in this direction, wherein I get few people coming on. It's a structured program over 11 sessions, so that I'm able to give those insights. And I handhold because I understood is what idea is only 10%, 90% is execution.
Correct.
So I can give this insight of, hey, be aware and take this template and do it. It's not going to work. So I handhold them for about 3 months to really implement what they have learned. So once it becomes a habit, they're on their own journey. There are so many homemakers, students, and professionals who are working in companies. Because typically, as professionals, when they are working in company, they feel that, oh, I have to take care of next EMI. Either for the property or a car or some kind of loan what they have taken. So EMI is the biggest burden for them. So I wanted to remove that. Through this template, they are able to see significant change in the way they are organizing their finances.
Very interesting. Arun, you also do a lot of work in sustainability. What does it mean to build a sustainable enterprise? And can you give me some examples?
Yeah, so it is in line with the building global brands. So when I say global brands, it's not. I mean, of course, the time span of an idea becoming a global brand is getting shorter and shorter. Earlier, it used to take 40 years to build a global brand. Now in 5 years, a brand can be a global. So what I'm aspiring is it should be sustainable. I want to see beyond my lifetime and the lifetime of the founders.
Okay.
Which means systems and processes, the kind of innovation, the kind of succession planning where we build it so that the brand can sustain beyond the lifetime of the founders themselves. So that's what I mean by sustainability of that.
I understand. You also included homemakers when you talk about financial education and empowerment. What are some of the unique challenges homemakers face, or financial challenges?
Absolutely. That's a very, again, these are the segments I've never worked with. So this is something new. I am also learning along with them. Because when it comes to homemaker, my thought process is they should be able to take out an hour a day, in my view. Okay, that is what I've been thinking.
Right.
As I started working with them, I also realized that it is possible for them to take out an hour a day. Okay. So beyond, I mean, of course, they play such a significant role in taking care of the family and so many things. They are the support for the entire ecosystem of the family. For themselves, I believe they can take out an hour. So if they can take out an hour, so I work with them to say, hey, these are the ways in which you can support the family on the finance terms as well. Both in terms of managing the money, financial matters of the family, and also working on the passive income opportunities. There are so many opportunities are available to build passive income. And I have seen homemakers, they have taken this and they are able to do significantly. They feel so good about, okay, I'm also contributing for the family.
Correct.
And money becomes it's not like you have to work 9 hours or 10 hours a day to earn. 1 hour a day, if you can take out, we will find a way to earn for you.
Very interesting. So I have time for two more questions for you. My next question is, how do you see the role of financial literacy evolving in the future, and what role do you expect inPace to play?
Sure. Yeah, this is again, I think things are changing, evolving now. I mean, as I grew up, I learned, I mean, because I chose commerce, I learned accounts, but otherwise, there's never spoken about, how money comes, how money goes, what is the responsibilities I have when it comes to managing money. I believe I come across now some of the schools, and they have started teaching on the basics of finance and financial markets and things like that. So I think it's extremely important. As much as we learn about, we learn English, language, mathematics, science, and geography, and so on. I think money should be very much part of the curriculum of the children at the earliest possible. I always remember what Warren Buffett said. Somebody asked him, "No, what do you regret the most?" He said, "I started very late when it comes to getting into the financial market, though he started at the age of 9." Okay, so I think that's the way to go. I'm glad some have started. I wish it can be there everywhere, especially in the tier two, tier three cities, where there is a lot of money need is there. If they learn it sooner, it will be really good. Otherwise, we left it to chance when it comes to money, or we follow what our elders are following, which may not be the best. And these are not really rocket science. In fact, I teach in 90 minutes. In 90 minutes, you can learn how to manage your finances and feel empowered.
Very interesting.
It takes that much only. But can it not be given at the earliest possible for the children? That's my.
Well said. Well said. And my last question to you, Arun, given your vast experience and the four very interesting pillars you have for inPace, based on your own journey as a professional and now as an entrepreneur, what would you say are three lessons you would want our viewers and listeners, a lot of them very young, to take away from your journey?
Yeah. More than the lessons, I feel the attitude is required. Okay. So three attitudes in my view are required. Number one is curiosity. We have to stay curiosity. Number one attitude required is curiosity. We have to stay curious, because somewhere we get the feeling that on some dimensions we stagnate. Whether it is the relationship or finances or parenting, any matter. I think we have to stay curious. Number two is patience. Nothing happens overnight. No miracles happened. Just like that. There needs to be. We need to have patience as an attitude to pursue something. Then the third one is consistency. Once in a while doing something is not going to help. I need to be consistent in picking up and doing something. So consistently, if I can follow something, it is likely to give me benefit. Curiosity, patience, consistency. These three, I believe, are the mantra for anyone to on any dimensions. And it's ever living, because I think I can stop on any dimension, at any point of time.
Correct. Very well said. And on that note, and your three amazing attitudes, as you call them, be curious, be patient, and be consistent. Thank you, Arun, for speaking to me about your own journey. Thank you for speaking to me at such length about your vision to build 11, or minimum of 11 global brands from India. And I'm sure you already said that you are on track because you're working with 9 of them. Thank you also for speaking to me about financial empowerment, both of professionals and homemakers. And then you widened it to say that even very young people could learn financial empowerment, or be financially empowered based on some of the lessons you provide to them. Thank you for speaking to me, and good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the Brand Called You.